Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Barb's Sunday Morning Live. How's everybody? Hey, Mike. Hey, Angela. Yeah, that gecko is adorable. I like him. He's calming. Calming's not a bad thing, you know. Calming is actually a healthy thing, and well, it seems like there's not a lot of calm around here. Hey, Shalima. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of calm around these around YouTube. But well, I think yeah, the chameleon. I think what I want to talk about today is choices, and we get to choose where what we put in our bodies, whether it's sounds or food, whether we eat healthy or not. I mean, it doesn't matter how hard I try. A lot of times, most of the time, I'm not the healthiest eater. And it's not, I mean, I did there for a while. A couple of years ago, I lost quite a bit of weight. Well, not quite a bit. I didn't lose quite a bit of weight. For me, I lost, I don't know, I can't remember. It was like 15 pounds, I guess. But I found it again. I lost it, but I found it. And that's typically what happens when you go on a diet is it's got to be a lifelong journey, and then the slightest thing can throw you off. And I want to eat, because we get, hey, salmonella. YouTube lives on chaos. Yeah, and here's what here's the thing: you get to choose what you put in. And so one thing that I've done is I have hey, Willow Blossom, I have actually unsubscribed to channels, especially these channels that keep getting terminated and then they come back. And I would subscribe because I wanted to be able to find them. But I still didn't watch that much, but I watched enough. And I say this all the time, but what affects me may not affect somebody else. And if you're not feeling a negative kind of way watching a channel or a creator or even just one of their videos, I mean, you don't have to leave somebody because one time they did something you didn't like. I mean, that puts a whole lot of pressure on a creator, because you can't, like, nobody can please everybody all the time. I can't even please myself all the time, right? So we leave other people, and sometimes I just, I leave channels because I've subscribed and I'm just not watching. It's not like they did anything. It's just I got too many subscriptions, and I'm getting notifications and I'm not going to their stuff. So, I'll unsubscribe for that. It's nothing personal. It's just, I'm not watching it. I do that a lot with true crime because maybe they're covering a case that I'm interested in, and then that case is over. Good morning, hippie chick. Happy chick. It's good to see everybody coming in. Let's see. So, I see all over, like I see people's community posts really are where you can kind of get a pulse on this little community. Oh, thanks, Mike. That's where you can get the pulse of the community is just go to the community post and see what's being said. And I said this all along. I mean, and like I'm not always positive either. I'm not. I wish I was Miss Pollyanna, but it's just not me. In fact, I reposted quite a fight from Randy's. It's Randy's life. It's popped up, YouTube shared it with me yesterday, and I was like, oh, I don't remember this particular argument. And I was just like, which person won this argument? I don't think anybody won that argument. Yeah, it is Willow Blossom. I'm just like, I look at the thing and I'm like, well, I got all these I'm subscribed to all these channels, and I'm not watching them. And again, it's not because a lot of but then you've got the ones that are just always fighting and going real life and getting money for stuff all the time. Again, YouTube's not your job unless you have a big channel that's bringing in stuff. And maybe, people can call it their job. And again, you're only hurting yourself if you're on here making just a little bit of money and this is your source of life. Because what's going to happen is you're not going to have any kind of retirement funds. And some of you guys are really young and you're not going to get Social Security because eventually, I don't know, maybe the government will take it away. I don't know, but it is a retirement for a lot of people. It is my retirement, and it's money that you put in. And if you work for yourself and you're not paying into this, these, I don't even know how I got off on this part, but if you're not paying in, as a business, and if you're not paying in any kind of Social Security, I don't even know how that works when you're self-employed, because I've had different businesses here and there, but that's never been my source of income. It would be a side hustle. And so you pay a lot of taxes on that, but you don't pay into Social Security. And thus, when you retire, when you get to be old like me, old and feeble and needing a cane and stuff, you won't have any money. And it's putting off instant gratification for your future. Yeah. Salmonella, I wasn't able to do that. I'm a terrible person, actually, to sit here and talk about money, but I did work from the time I was 16 until recently, at least, job, I might have had more recently, I didn't have a full-time job, but I had, part-time stuff. And when you work for somebody, when you get a W-2, that means you're putting in money for your retirement too. And also, don't cash in your 401k like I did. But I had to. I felt like I had to at the time that I did it many years ago. But if you're on here and this is your full-time job and you're not putting money away for, first of all, to pay your taxes, and secondly, this secondary income that you're getting, It may feel good and you may have all the money you need to go spend right now, but it's in your future, especially if you're like younger and you've never really had jobs. I mean, you're just going to live in poverty. I mean, because I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't consider what 70K in an IRA. Wow. Hey, Lulu Chu. Hippie Chick's been there 27 years. Wow. That's kind of unheard of these days, Hippie Chick. I mean, when we were younger, people worked at jobs forever. I worked for General Motors, GMAC, many, many years ago in the 80s and early 90s. Or wait, 80s and late 80s and early 90s. And there were people who retired from there with 30 years all the time. I mean, it was a quality top job, especially here in Arkansas. I mean, they've moved out of Arkansas now, but it was the financing arm for General Motors, and they paid well. I think I made more at that job back then, which I didn't make a ton, but I still made more than I made later in life at some other jobs. I'm good, Lulu Chu. How you been doing? Yeah, people would work at the same place and they would retire. And then here's another thing about life and choices and all that. I didn't mean to get sidetracked on money because I'm not the one to be telling y'all about money. Except stop begging for it. Good grief, and lying to get it. I've never seen it. I've never seen such a thing. But again, I think, I think COVID messed up a lot because people were getting money. I was a gig worker, so COVID, they were actually paying me more than I was ever making as a trainer, a personal trainer, and I taught classes as well. I'm glad you made it here, Lulu Chu. It's good to see you. What was I saying? So, I forgot. I know I was talking about work and stuff. Oh yeah, COVID. They were giving people money, and I think and I heard somebody else talking about this recently. I don't know if it was on YouTube or what, but kids that never had a job before were getting money from the government. And they were getting, like I said, I was getting more to not work. And then our governor cut off the last bit of it. He said we didn't need it, and it was federal money, and he wouldn't let the people in the state get it. So he cut that off. But I mean, at that point, I was getting a lot of money. And if you've never, a personal trainer, like fitness, Lulu Chu, if you're not, hold on a minute. You get 0. Yeah, it's the 2,400. Is that like an average? You mean if you don't pay in anything at all, you still get money, Salma? Like if I didn't pay in all these years, I would get 800 a month? Okay, and then as far as like taking in what you take in, like if you're and I said this earlier and I get sidetracked so easy, but if you are listening to somebody and you find yourself upset all the time, you can leave. Did you know that? You can leave, unsubscribe, and don't click on their channel anymore if it's bothering you. Really, there's a line there, though. I mean, if somebody's talking shit about you, you do want to defend yourself. But if hopefully you can step away from a situation. There was a situation I didn't want to leave because I knew what the repercussions were going to be. And I ended up leaving, and I got, I'm still getting the repercussions. I didn't do anything wrong in that situation, especially not before I left. I was taking up for this person. I was being very kind, and then, but if you're in a situation where you're with a channel and you want to leave, just do it. I know people leave Natasha and they get drug through the freaking, mud puddles, or shit piles, really. But it's still yes, please smash the like button and get more people. More people can find us in here. You know, if you're with somebody and you fear leaving them because you know what they're going to do when you leave, that's a sign you really need to get the F out of there. Who's with me? Put a 1 in the chat. If you're with me on that, like, you need to leave. I'm waiting on some 1s. Good morning, Cassandra Troy. Oh no, hippie chick. Was it on YouTube or? Yeah, I mean, if somebody's making fun of your, just like you're just being alive, basically. Yeah. Well, thanks for all the 1s. Y'all agree with me. Yeah, leave. I mean, I don't want anybody to control me. Have you ever worked in a job? I know some of you people here, I mean, I know there's some people on YouTube who have never really worked a job. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened, hippie chick. I can't put in the chat, if you've never had a job. But if you've never worked, if you've ever worked with other people, and this happens on YouTube too, it seems like there's one person in the office, depending on the size. I mean, one job I had, we had like 50, 75 people all in one big room. But it seems like there's always this one person who brings in a mood. And everybody's like, wonder what mood they don't consciously think that, but they're like, wonder what kind of mood I'm going to be in today. And here comes that person, and they're slamming stuff around, and they're mad, and they're like, and then everybody else picks up on that mood, and they carry it through their day. Have you ever had that happen? Hey, no more. Have y'all ever had that happen in the office? Because I have. And unfortunately, the person who usually set the mood wasn't a happy person. And in a job, you can't choose. Like, you can't choose to leave. Well, you can. You always have a choice. But you may not want to leave. You may not want to leave your job because, I mean, you may be making good money. You may love your job despite another person. And if we always ran every time somebody irritated us, we wouldn't have many people around. However, when it gets to be so much that you just can't deal with it, or like on YouTube, you're just finding yourself in a bad mood because you're hanging around things that are not good for you. Everybody on YouTube, they have free speech. I don't know, there are lines that get crossed and people lose their channels, or their video gets taken down. I'm not really sure what YouTube's lines are. I don't know, but they're going to keep doing what they're doing. And if it's bothering you, the only option you have, well, you have 2 options. You stay in the mud and you keep slinging it, or you back away, unsubscribe, and find something else to do with your life or your time, right? So, pick pot. And also, when something bad happens, Wow, salmonella. And isn't it common? I mean, that there's a bad, you've got, well, I had a boss, that made fun of my sexuality, and quite openly, and he thought covertly, I guess, but he loved to make fun of me behind my back, but I would hear him and stuff, and that was horrible. And that was a small office, and when it was a new kind of job for me. It was a different kind of job for me, and I was just coming out, and I was very um you know not I'm not the most confident person, obviously, y'all know that. And yeah, he was such a jerk, and it made my life miserable. It really did. And his it just, and I ended up leaving that job, but it wasn't because of that necessarily. It was, it was a health issue. Uh, People can be cruel. Yeah, and they'll tell you who to not hang out with. Yeah, it was horrible. And then had another job um, working for a narcissist. And I mean, I don't even have to tell you about how that kind of shit goes. I mean, he didn't get along with anybody, but yeah, he did hippie chick. And also, he was the man who would come up to this older, he was an older guy, or still is. Last I heard, he was still alive, but he and this other man, he would come up to his chair and put his privates right up against this man in the office. So I don't know. I mean, does he have, you know, is he secretly, hiding his own feelings? Is that what his deal was? Because why is he taking it out on me? I certainly wasn't like blasting into the world. I was just coming out. I know I was like 40, but it's 20 years ago in Arkansas. Yeah, it was still tough. It still is now. But yeah, it was gross. It is scary. Change, Cassandra, change is scary, right? And changing a career, yeah. Well, I was just finishing up my college degree when I went to work there, and this man came in after I went to work there. But yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry, but good for you, because just because something's scary doesn't mean we shouldn't go do it. Yeah, salmonella. I was just like, oh my God. And mean people are just can be so cruel. Oh, power. Yeah, I can't stand the negativity. Hell, I have everything I can do just to keep my head up. But I saw this article the other day, and this person was talking about, well, they were I mean, the story's really not all that big of a deal, but they were painting outside, and some, like, a big gust of wind blew up, and it spilled their paint, messed up their painting that they had just done on this gate, and newspaper was flying everywhere. And you're gonna, when something like that happens, you're gonna be all like, you can get mad, or you can just be like, oh, this woman started laughing and laughing, and she was talking on the phone. And you can choose that. You can choose how you react. It's kind of like with gratitude. Well, fuck, it's hot today. Well, thank you that I have AC, or thank you that I have a fan blowing on me right now. Or, right, we've had the gratitude talk a million times, and this is part of today. I want to talk about gratitude. Put some positive spin on it. Yes. Look, go, oh, I get to start a new career. It's my choice. Just reframe it. Yep. New things will keep you young. So Here are 10 positive emotions that occur most frequently: joy, gratitude, serenity, interest, hope, pride, amusement, inspiration, awe, and love. What if you could fold more moments of positive emotion into your day? What if the first thing you did when you got up would be, I'm grateful to be alive today. Kids are starting back to school. I know it's a tough time for a lot of people. Our schools here, most of our schools here start back tomorrow. It doesn't affect me. I'm not worried about it, but I know that, there's kids that don't want to go to school, and there's the hustle and bustle getting kids up for, getting kids up in the morning and getting them to school and all that. And it comes with a lot. So, I don't know how many of y'all in here have kids, how old you are, anything. But it is a tough time for a lot of people. Thanks, no more. Or what if you got up in the morning and you were just joyful to be alive? I know a lot of people aren't morning people. I'm a morning person, and I don't get up like that. I'm just like, oh, gotta get up. Good, Lulu Chu. See, anything like that. If you have to post it on your mirror in your bathroom, or put it on your refrigerator. Hey, Mel, whatever. You're here. I'm live and you're here. Cassandra, can you say what kind of job you're going to be doing, or, like a general idea of, or you don't have to. I'm just saying. What if you took 5 minutes every day just to sit and be quiet? Meditate if you do that kind of thing. I'm not a meditator, but you can listen to those meditation videos that put positive thoughts into your mind. And why do we not, why are we so, and I'm saying we because a lot of times I'm going to be the first one jumping on somebody's live stream when they're talking shit. As long as they're not talking about me and I don't like the person they're talking about, I enjoy it. But when it's about me, no. Running to the boss. What? Where was one of two? Angela, I don't know what you're saying. I didn't see your other post. I don't know. Maybe it got held or something. I'm over in StreamYard. Oh, I tell the cat every morning I'm so thankful she picked me. Yeah, and, you're leaving inpatient acute psychiatry. Oh, good, Cassandra. Yeah, I would think that psychiatry as a inpatient job would be tough. I know that social workers and psychiatrists and people who work with the patients and in the field, you do get burnout. And so good for you. So, you can use these positive thoughts. Pick up your, give your kid an extra hug. Tell them you love them. If they're being cranky, just put a lot of love onto them. Put a lot of joy. Try to lift each other up. But no, not on YouTube. We don't do that on YouTube. We like to fight and argue and talk about people's kids and try to get at everybody. Why? What's the point of trying to get to people and their past? Ooh, they had this in their past. Ooh. I mean, really, if it didn't happen on YouTube, it shouldn't really be brought up. It shouldn't. Yes, Cassandra. I'm sure that's a long time. What if you're walking down the street and you see some flowers? What do? Now, me, when I get back to my exercise, I always stopped and took pictures of flowers. And then I would come home at some time that day. I would post, a few pictures of my walk. These are the flowers. Look at these pretty flowers. And people who follow me on Facebook who don't get out and do those kinds of things for whatever reason loved, they love it when I do that, because maybe I'll brighten their day for a moment, right? So you can have a positive emotion, like you're walking to work, or you're, walking the kids into school. You just take a little serenity, a little positive emotions, maybe some interest, maybe just just appreciating the beauty of what you're seeing. Yeah, Mel, they do. They do. Oh, okay, Cassandra. You're cutting up brownies for lunch. Are your kids starting back tomorrow, Mel, or do y'all go year round, or how does that work? Oh no, injured by a patient. I think, yes. I think that, Cassandra, I do think that there are a certain number of people who enjoy the back and forth. Um, it's content for, I mean, you got to look, it's content for a lot of people. I hate it when people say everybody in this community does this and that. No, I don't. I have 990, I mean, I don't know, 950 something videos up. And, you know, at least in the last year, I've got more positivity than negativity. Although before that, I did make a lot of videos about Natasha and Mrs. Portland, and a few about Dorothy. You know, I'm not a Pollyanna. I wish we were in third semester. Oh, wow. Cool. So then, have you ever seen anybody like, I'll never forget, and it was no big deal, but I was just driving to work one day here where I live now, and a girl, a woman, young woman, maybe 20s, was at one of the corners wanting to cross, to cross. It's just a little neighborhood street, and I stopped, and we just big smiled at each other, and it just made my day. And I mean, I don't remember being in any particular mood that day, but I still remember that. You can just flash somebody the biggest smile, or say a kind word to somebody out in public, or even on YouTube, and you've just implanted a little bit of positivity into their day. And here it is, like 2 or 3 years later, and I still remember that big smile on that girl's face. You see, like, if you see a parent out with their kid and their kid's acting up, just smile, just give them a little bit of happiness. Yes, salmonella. I know. Yes, salmonella. I mean, it is a lot of work. I've been doing this for whenever I started making shorts, and now I'm going live again, and I'll make a few regular videos. There's been, I can only remember one day when I didn't post at least one video, and it was recently, and I couldn't find anything I wanted to say that day. And I had a video that I had done back in April that was blowing up. It got in the algorithm, and I was getting like 800 views, 800, well, and it went over 1,000 views per hour. Was it an hour? Yeah, it was an hour. I think it got up to 1,500 in an hour. It was just rolling through. It was, in the feed. And I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to take a little break today because I'm getting a lot of views from this video. But every other time, I mean, I've been constantly making videos. Angela, it's not for everyone. Okay, and then what about when you're out and what if you're out driving around, and I don't know why people don't want to use their freaking blinkers. It's just so helpful, and it is, I believe it's a law in every state that you should use your blinker on your car. But they'll stop or they'll turn right in front of you and you don't know what's happening. Well, and you got to slam on your brakes, and you're putting your arm across the seat next to you to protect whoever's there, which I do that and there's nobody there, but well, you can get mad and throw a fit and throw them the finger or 10 and cuss them out and get all mad and get all angry and get all that cortisol going up in your body. Or you can just be, oh, thank God. Just have some gratitude. Oh, okay, you really ticked me off, but I'm glad and I'm grateful that I didn't have a wreck with you. Right? Yeah, the non-blinkers, I'm just screaming at them. Put your blinker on. And it's really not that hard to put a blinker on, but some people don't like to do it. And then they're going to cause you to rear end them, and then you're going to get the ticket because you rear-ended somebody. Lunches are done. Hey, can I have a brownie, Mel? Yeah, I'm grateful I didn't rear-end you. I'm grateful that we don't have to call the cops out here and wait for however long it takes them to get here. And then we got to get our cars to the shop and, file on your insurance, which is going to make your rates go up. And just be grateful. Yeah, I know. You got to have psychic abilities, Angela. It's crazy. Can't figure out what these people are doing. And I'm in a tourist town, so we have people from all over the country that come here. It's not like Vegas where you see a lot of Asians and stuff that look like tourists. I don't know if they're really, but you see a lot of different nationalities who appear to be tourists. Here it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see all their license plates, and maybe they have different laws in these different states. But here in Arkansas, we use our blinkers. I can have one. Oh, they're not special. Well, I don't need them to be special. I got special sauce here. Oh, she's passing them out. You want me to give you my address? Now, again, if there's somebody that's sitting in a chat somewhere and you're not happy and you're afraid to leave, do it. Do it. Don't leave mine, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, we'll see. And we've got the lakes here, but they're not on my side of town. I mean, the restaurants and the lake, because the one lake that's really in town in the, I don't know if it's in the city limits, but and this particular lake, they have homes on the lake, right? And so you've got Airbnbs and what is it, Vermo or whatever it's called, and then you've got the motels and hotels and the big casino, and so we've got a lot of people, especially in the summer. Well, in the summer they're mostly at the lake, and then in the fall and spring, and they're always downtown because it's a historic town. Brownie. I want on the brownie list. Brownies all around. Everybody gets a brownie from Mel. I don't know. Do your choices can make your life better or worse? Right? Who's with me? Who's with me? Anybody? I try to bring y'all positive. You feel like Oprah. You get a brownie, and you get a brownie, and you get a brownie. You get drugged through the mud, and you get drugged through the mud, and you get lied about, and you get lied about, and you get lied about. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes people get into these whirlwinds of, or they're in the midst of something and they don't realize it. Like, if you're following a channel, well, I'll just put it like this. Several months back, over the past, I guess, year and a half, I had a few people that kept, and I think I've talked about this. I know I've talked about this, but I had people who kept telling me, they just couldn't be around me. They couldn't be in my chat because a certain person was in my chat, and they just couldn't be here because of that. And I'm like, well, okay, okay. And they didn't come back. Little bit they've come back since they're not that person not my chat anymore, but yet they're in a chat with this person now. But they couldn't be in my chat because this person was in my chat. Okay, I mean, I can't control your thoughts and emotions and behavior, but it just doesn't make any sense to me that now. And I asked one of them, and I was told, well, I have that person blocked, so I'm not in chat with them. And I'm like, but you're a mod. You're a mod there. So you do see that person, and you are in chat with that person. Can y'all make that make sense? I'm not going to go to anybody and say, well, I like you, but I can't be in your chat because you have mail in there. Can't you just block that person and be there if you really like the channel? But no. Mm-mm. So it's just crazy. It's a sign of a weak ego. Oh, and yeah, and then there's the control. I'm just floored by that. I mean, and it wasn't just a one-time email. I was getting these emails quite often. We were emailing back and forth, and I'm just, I mean, it's fine. It's their life. I just don't get it. Why are you going to take the time to tell me that you have so much hate, dislike, or whatever for this person, but then now you're hanging with them? And that's just YouTube. I mean, that's just constant on here, really. It's just that's just a personal example that I have. Yes, and going, and drop in a chat, and then all hell breaks loose because, I mean, I was in a chat recently of someone who I don't respect or like, but I wanted to say what I wanted to say, and they were talking about that. So I did chat in there, but it's not something that I'm going to be doing all the time. Things do change, Taco. How are you? It's crazy. It is. It's serious life to fight with a certain person over here and over there, and it makes me sad because there are people on here who have never had a life. They haven't really lived a life, and they're living their life on YouTube, and it's got a dead end because there's, I don't know, is YouTube going to be here in 10 years? I think from what I've heard, YouTube kind of blew up because of when COVID and everything. And now there's a writer's strike. So anybody who still watches television, which I still do, but none of the fall shows are going to be on because of the writer's strike, and actors are joining in on it. And so I feel like that's going to make even more people switch over to things like YouTube if they haven't already. Yes, you can't even, right, Angela, you can't win for losing on here. So you just have to be like, I don't know, find a way to laugh it off. Do what you want to do. If you want to go to somebody's chat, I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't come with its crap. But hey, Demon Blood, I still don't get your, I don't get your screen name, but okay. Yeah, if you're in somebody's chat, it means that, oh, of all the things that they did to you and you're in there, well, maybe I'm in there because I want to say something. And maybe, just maybe, when you have an enemy or when you have somebody who does troubling things that you don't approve of, maybe you want to keep your enemies closer, or maybe you think you can help that person subtly, like not in your face, because all that's going to do is push that person back. They're going to be like, fuck you, I don't care what you say. Maybe you can have an effect on someone in a kinder, gentler way. Lead by example. Try to get them to figure out, how they're being hurtful. Things like that. Don't come to YouTube. Yeah, no more channels. No more channels. We got plenty of, just bring more viewers, but no more channels. Hey, Jen, how are you? How's it going? But with all of that, we get to decide. We get to decide what we put in our bodies, in our ears. Well, yeah, Mel. Exactly. I've never seen it be so crazy where people are fighting and then they're friends. I did that one time in college when I was 20. Girls in a dorm. Can you imagine a bunch of 18 to 22-year-old girls in a dorm? I had this one girl, I felt like we were enemies. And then we ended up being like together all the time, friends, buddies, I think she was using me for my car, but anyway, no, we were together all the time. And it was actually my first experience with a female and everything. So it had a lot of mixed emotions and stuff. Hey, Betty Damboop. I'm doing well, Jen. Jen, thank you. How are you? But yeah, we fought, and then we were enemies, and then we were, like best buddies. We were together a lot, after class and everything, and on the weekends. But we were fighting before that. So sometimes I think that fighting, I don't know, I think it was my whatever weirdness. But no, we're not friends now. I mean, we were friends on YouTube a few years back again, or I had friended her, but I still had a lot of there was some things at the end that I just like she's never apologized. We've never talked about what happened. We've never talked about the way she treated me and the things that happened to me. I mean, the things she did to me. And so I still have that because we never talked about it. And then she got off on politics on her Facebook that just was beyond anything that I could, reasonably overlook. I just unfriended her. I didn't want to see it. Yes, stuff taken out of context, Mel. Boot camp with a bunch of women, well, I was at, anytime you get a bunch of women together and men do it too, men gossip. When I was going to the Y, one woman actually, when I guess during COVID, they had pretty much shut down or something. And then when they were, excuse me, when they were gearing back up, they didn't hire this one woman back. And it was at the same time I was trying to get on with them because I just got certified for my personal trainer. I got my certification. And they wouldn't hire me. And they didn't bring her back because of, she was looked at as a gossiper. And I never saw her that way. So, I mean, but yeah, there was all that, there's always that kind of stuff with people. I don't think it's unique. It's not unique to YouTube. It's just a place where people can do it. But if you're bouncing around to these places that you don't feel good, you're not feeling well, you're not taking good care of yourself, all these things that I do to myself, I get involved in this stuff and I don't feel good. And then I don't eat right. I might drink. I might, do things that I shouldn't do that aren't healthy for me. Not that I shouldn't do, but things that aren't healthy. And really, if you don't think about your health and take care of yourself, who is going to? My dogs can't make me healthy. Yeah, I think that I started a new series yesterday, Things I Wish I Knew When I Was Younger. And I think I'm going to add that. I had that thought the other day, but I mean, the next one I'm going to do is about menopause. So, things I wish I knew when I was younger. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Betty. Betty damn boop. Well, I started having thoughts that I had PTSD because the way I was feeling in regards to, taking a break from going live and coming back, and then being, in the middle of arguments and stuff again. And I started thinking I think I have PTSD. And so, things have calmed down, but yeah, thanks, Betty Boop. Oh, dogs literally, my dogs literally saved my life back, coming off the major depression that lasted for years. I mean, I'm serious when I say this. When I moved here 4 years ago from my last home, and I moved here, and I threw away like all my books. I threw away so much stuff. I got rid of books people had given me. I didn't have much of a will to live. I wanted to take care of my dogs. I moved here with 4. I'm down to 2. But they, having my dogs literally gave me a reason to get up every day in a sad way, right? And now I'm not in that place now. I don't have trouble getting up. Hey, Chloe Joe. I don't have trouble getting out of bed, but saved your life. I mean, dogs are they're just, I think they're God. Dogs are God. I have CPTSD, and I still find the good in life. Yeah, Betty Damn Boop. There you go. I'm just pausing here. I got to get a drink. Do you guys have any kind of things that you do to, get yourself in a good headspace, like, meditation or going for a brisk walk, or like I will watch a sometimes I look for emotional, because Netflix has a heading emotional movies, because I know it's going to make me cry. And sometimes that's good to cry, right? Yeah, that is a powerful gift, Betty Dan Boop. It is. And see, you count your blessings. And that's why, because you have gratitude that for whatever situation you have that from, you're not there anymore. It's easy to be grateful for random things like, oh, I am grateful for this water that I'm drinking, because while I had to go pump it out of, go over here and carry these jugs and go out in the heat and fill these water bottles, I have spring water that people pay for. It is so much better tasting than the water, the potable. I mean, you get drinking water out of your faucet, but it has a funky taste if you're used to drinking spring water. And people pay to have this, to buy spring water, but I can go get it free. And it's great. Yeah, being empathetic, Betty Dan Boop, is it's not an easy thing to have, but look where we would be if we didn't have it. Because if you don't have empathy, I don't. I'm sorry for anybody who doesn't feel empathy for others. It doesn't allow you to, if you don't have it, you can't think about putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Like, yeah, there's a blessing in my fresh spring water. It's so good. And it's healthier too. And people will, anybody that, well, a lot of people who come to the city will bring their little bottle because they want to taste it. They're always coming up with their little bottles so they can, well, it doesn't really have any taste. It's just clean water that came straight from the earth. Yeah, nobody wants to carry other people's pain. You do guided meditation? Oh, good, Lulu Chu. Thanks for sharing that. Well, my back pain has gotten a lot better, so my plan is, um, I don't know, because I cleaned my house pretty heavy duty the other day, and I've been having I've been having pain in my big toe. It's nerve pain. So I looked up which level, because I'm trying to figure out if I've injured I know my fusion's solid, but so I looked up, when you have sciatica and it hurts in your big toe, which part of your back is that? Well, it's L5S1, which I have fused. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I got to get back and I got to get back out and enjoy the the scenery. I got to get back out when the fall. I got to be out in the fall when these colors are changing, and I don't have to hike 6 miles. I can hike 2, right? I got to get back out and get back in shape, because that's another thing that saved my life is, when you suffer from depression, you have to work hard to not get down into it. And I'm pulling out of another, shorter lived one, but yeah, I don't. Hey, Amber, good to see you. You caught alive. Oh, you're scrubbing grout with toothbrush. Oh, Selma, are you ever going to come visit here since I'm here? I thought about that the other day. Their read their what is it called? They're working on the front of the outside of the Arlington. The steps going up to, to go in, and it's just a big project right now, but it's going to be pretty when they get it restored. So if you ever come back here, I know you've been here. T. Adams is in the house. Welcome. Football started back. Oh, yay, Amber. Oh, I just, like I don't even care that the fall TV shows aren't coming, because I'll just watch more football. And college football starts in like 2 weeks, so I am a huge football fan. Go Hogs. And a little bit of pro. StreamYard's bad at showing comments. I know I never got Angela's one of two earlier. I don't know what that was about. You are going to come back here? Hey, Nat A. Nat A loves football. Go Vols. Yep, the Hogs are going to be. I don't even know if we play y'all this year. I haven't even looked at the schedule. I heard that Arkansas has an easier schedule this year, which is thrilling to me, because in several years past, we've had like the one of the toughest schedules in the nation. I mean, anybody in the SEC's got a pretty tough schedule, but it's the non-conference that really affects that. Mel is funny. Oh, and Angela's dog. Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even ever think about, what kind of dogs you had, but she's adorable. My dogs have the big ears. Rusty does, and Rosie does. I think they're part Chihuahua. T. Adams is in the house. Hey, CLM. I choose happy. I watch football. Yeah, Clueless. I saw where that one guy, forgot what his name is. D something. I don't know. He collapsed on the field last year playing pro ball, and they like canceled the game, because it was just so traumatic. And he is and he played in a exhibition game, preseason game yesterday. So yay for that. Oh, Nat, yeah, we're off the hook. Well, we got the best quarterback, so we'll see. We'll see how the Hogs do this year. Oh, when's that going to be, Salma? Yeah, Hamlin. Damien is, for some reason, that doesn't, the Damien part's not ringing a bell, but yeah, Hamlin. And he was back on the field yesterday after having, collapsed on the field, and people were saying that he was deceased, and they were just lying about it. Yeah, last name's Hamlin. Yep. And Thursday night game. Who's your team, Clueless? Anybody else in here have a college team they like? College football. And then the women's basketball, it's going to be on the field, cardiac arrest right on the field. Well, and also the preseason. The early season games, especially down here in the South. We have a heat warning today. I'm just seeing it on my computer here. It's going to get up to 90. I don't know. I don't want to push that, but it's extreme heat here. And even the your Cowboys played. The practices out in this heat, and then they got, I know these players are in shape and everything, but it is very dangerous when it's so hot. And they're playing these games in the heat, and it'll be 100 and something degrees on the field. I worry about them. I worry about these boys, but I love football and sports. So unfortunately for you guys who don't, I'll be talking about it. And then when I'm really wanting to go to a couple women's basketball games this season, and my friend Ashley McBride is going to be in Little Rock in October, and I didn't get a ticket. I'm so sad. I did see some tickets available near the stage, and they were $237 plus fees. I just can't do that. I just can't. I mean, I could do a fundraiser and let y'all, get y'all to pay for it. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to I don't do stuff like that. Let's look at my son. Oh, wow. Those kids were crying. Oh, yeah, that's just too much. And why were they out in the middle of the day doing that? That's ridiculous. Hey, shift happens. Hey, toxicity. Toxicity, are you at work already? Thanks, shift happens. Yeah, we're about to, we're on the backside of this live stream. I want people to realize that, you guys, we all have a choice. And even if you're in a situation where you're scared to leave a creator, you still need to do it, because why are you hanging on to something that's bringing you down? Yeah, ice cream for everybody. The little kids played earlier. Well, couldn't they play at night? When the sun, like the middle of the day, the sun's too high. Yeah, Clueless. I mean, I've been to concerts before, but I don't remember. I mean, the prices, well, it's just everything has gone up. I want to go on this. There's a guy that, well, there's more than one, but this one tour guide, fishing guide, it's $300 to go fish for a half a day. And it's $100 extra for every person. And I was like, well, maybe I could find somebody and then we could both pay $200. But even that, I don't have $200 that I'm willing to. I mean, I don't really have an extra $200, but I'm just saying I don't have that kind of money to spend on something that I don't need. Oh, an evening game. Yeah, if you're not happy, find something that makes you happy, because you only live once, you guys, and we're it's a struggle sometimes to find positivity, and it's boring, right? It's a lot more fun to listen to people argue and fight and talk bad about each other and spill the tea and give us all these thoughts, but what's that doing to your psyche? Bye, shift happens. Oh, yeah, you could, T. Adams. That, you know what? When before I had to take Shelby to the Rainbow Bridge, she didn't want to go in and out. She has, this thickest, long fur, very thick, furry dog. I mean, my house stays cleaner now because she shed so much, but love what? Going fishing? Wow, toxicity. Hey, did you have fun last night, Toxic? Rent a kayak for fishing. My email is the scoop with Barb at gmail.com. It's in my about section if you don't get it there. Yeah, I could rent a kayak for fishing. But thanks, Amber. I could. I mean, for $200, I could $200 to go fishing. Yeah, but they're going to go fishing and they're catching these huge fish. But that's okay. It's not a temperature, it's a crowd, right? I mean, I just can't. I can't stand the heat. I haven't even been fishing because it's just. I mean, it's so hot and muggy. We'll get a rain shower, we'll get a thunderstorm move through, and then the sun comes back out. And then this morning, I mean, at 7, we actually got to sleep till about 7:15, and I, took let the two little dogs out, and I'm like, wow. Actually, it's 300, Amber. Well, it's a fishing guide thing, but it's actually 300. One of them, I think they charge more, but no, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to go see my friend in concert because I just not. It's not the kind of money that I don't have that kind of money. Kay has not changed. Want to see you weird. I don't know what you're saying. Depression I didn't know. I think we talked about this the other day, but I didn't know that with depression, you have a lot of anger and just, I don't ever want to go through that again. If y'all got, and you guys haven't hit menopause yet, if you haven't, well, I think you should be prepared for it and not just, I think you should educate yourself about it before it happens. It's not a big deal for a lot of people. It almost killed me. So, yeah, everything's expensive. Oh, the kayaks are 60 a day. Yeah, there's a place I could get one. I think it was 40. I don't know how much it is now. But fishing in a kayak is, a little bit different, but I could go play in one for a day or, whatever. But to fish in one, you've got to have, I don't know. Me. Yeah, Cassandra. It's, whew, I don't wish that on anybody. Yes, Amber. And I've been thinking about you, and I'll email you later, or email me and catch me up with that, and yeah, I'll send that to you in email. But I hope that's going okay for you. I know last we talked, it was, it's just troubling. But you really, I mean, if you don't suffer from anxiety or depression or any other mental illness, you may not have to work on trying to be positive and trying to be, find joy or find gratitude, but it's in your hands. So, we all have to do what we have to do. And I'm just trying to offer you guys who feel stuck or are in a hard place an alternative to that. It takes work. It's not something that I can just tell you about and you're just going to be like, oh, good, Barb. I'm so happy now. No. It's a given, it's a 1 foot forward and 2 steps back sometimes, for me anyway. And sometimes, like I told y'all recently, I didn't realize I was so depressed a few weeks ago, even a few months ago. You let the big digs play in the sprinklers, the big dogs. Yeah, it's my two littles right now. They're just like, no, it's too hot, mama. But they get to go out anytime they want to be let out. I mean, I go let them out, but they come right back in. I have a fenced in yard. So, but you certainly have to be careful walking dogs and stuff in this heat. They get overheated and they can't tell you. There's a there's a mountain in Little Rock that's called Pinnacle Mountain. It looks like a big volcano, and I've climbed it a few times. It's a tough climb, even on the one side, the main side that people climb is hard enough, but the other side's even harder. I went up there with a beagle one time, but I also had my cousin's ex-husband, who was only in his 30s then. He died on that mountain because he was dehydrated. He had been out drinking the night before, probably into the early morning, and he, you know, I guess he had a heat stroke. I don't really know the details. Yeah, and that one lady, she drank 4 16-ounce bottles of water in 20 minutes and she died. And I'm hoping that doesn't deter people from drinking water, because that's a really rare thing. And, it may be that they find out that it wasn't the water, maybe. Like, maybe she was having a heat stroke. I knew what you meant. I know I read it like Diggs, but I knew what you meant. But I'm hoping that doesn't deter people from wanting to drink water because of that. You don't need to, and when it's hot, you need to drink water before you even think you need to drink water. You just need to drink water. No Perry symptoms, but then it was, yeah, Cassandra, menopause. You do have to protect his health, and you have to be careful with them. An all-girls fishing trip. I've used both, Selma. I'm raising some worms right now. They're doing well. I don't know if they've made any babies yet, but they're healthy and they're eating their food, and I feed them every Saturday and check on them. It's been hot. It's hotter than what they're in the house. They're in a tub in the house because it's too hot. But I think they'll start making babies once it cools off. But yeah, or send it to me an email. What you got? I know. I think there's something going on besides that she just drank water too fast. But maybe that's just me being hopeful, because I don't want people to think not to drink water, and it's just weird. Yeah, you got to keep fluid. You got to do that. Mediterranean salt. I heard the Mediterranean diet's really good. I think next week it's supposed to cool off here. I think there's a front moving through. A fun ball of fun. You're in a good mood. Well, have fun, toxicity. See, toxicity works her butt side off. Has a channel, a successful channel, does a really good job with her channel. And she's my mod. So there's 100 pluses right there for her. But no, she's an example of somebody who works hard and enjoys life. So look at that. Have a steak for me there, toxicity. Please. We had rain. Yeah, Amber, we did too. And I don't have a mower right now, and my yard needs to be mowed again. My neighbor's mower that I've been using, like, I take care of his dog for him a lot, and I'll use his mower because he insists. But right now it's in the back of his pickup. I don't know what's going on. So I think I'm going to have to weed eat again. It's here. Oh, it's cold there in your fridge. Yeah, when it's cold, I'm always layering up. And actually here it got cool a couple of days, cooler. And I was sitting in my chair actually cold, which is weird. Yeah, I should go on that Mediterranean diet, though. I just don't like the word diet. My weight's holding steady. It's not like I'm out of control or anything. So I'm gonna put a concerted effort into getting back in shape, and thus I will lose some weight and want to be healthier as soon as it cools off. And I'm just going to have to deal with my back pain. But anyway, guys, I hope that I've given y'all a little bit of, something to think about today. If this just helps one person, that you get to choose what you watch, what you listen to, who you listen to, where you go, what you do with your life. And if you're in a situation where you're not happy and you're still doing all that stuff, make some changes. Take one channel off or one person out of your life and realize, you can walk away from people if they're harming you. And yes, on YouTube, if you do that, you may still hear your name, because I wasn't going live and stuff, and I was still hearing, people bring up stuff that is in the past. I'm not saying it's not relevant. I'm just saying you're not necessarily not going to hear your name or anything. But yeah, T. Adams, I do too. I think she's got 2 jobs actually. Oh, thanks, CLM. I do want to try to keep these Sunday morning live. I do want to go back, and I know when I was doing it before, I wasn't always positive in here, but I do want, especially the Sunday morning, we can make it our little church session. Yep, Mel. We've all had shit happen to us in our lives, and we walked away. We were able to get past that. And why do we want to continue to live, in arrears? Like, wherever you found or find happiness, keep going in that direction. So it's Sunday. All right, guys, do take care of yourself. Mental health, physical health, drink lots of water. Drink water before you need to drink water. And don't drink 16-ounce bottles all at one time. Y'all have a fabulous Sunday and a great week for all you guys with kids going back to school. Yeah, thanks, Amber. You got kids going back to school. Try extra doses of patience and self-care. And y'all have a great week, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.